Welcome to Geeks Corner. I'm Mr. Daps.
I'm Katie.
Because at least some percentage of the Earth's population is pregnant at any given time, the average number of skeletons that humans have is higher than one.
I don't like that.
That is interesting.
No, that's bad. That's not interesting. That's bad.
1 point something is the average number of skeletons
that makes a
that
lot
a
of
human
sense.
has.
That's weird, but it makes a lot of sense. It sounds like a really weird Star Trek episode or something.
I'm just imagining. No, I don't.
All right, continue on.
If you don't have a bone to pick with us, but want to talk to us this evening, please use the hashtag Geeks Corner on Twitter.
Was that a pun?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Hashtag Geeks Corner, Twitter, talk at us.
That was a good pun.
Thank you.
I liked it. All right. Well, we got a lot to cover tonight, so we'll dig right in. Dive right in? Dive right in. That's what we'll do. Digging might be more appropriate with the skeletons, but last Thursday night was Disneyland After Dark 90s Night, and it's a 90s themed show in many regards.
Yeah.
Quite a few of it, actually. But we went to 90s Night, and it rained multiple times. It was an adventure. Fireworks were fantastic. What's your favorite part of the night, actually?
Fireworks were definitely the highlight. The other thing that was really...
What was your favorite part of the fireworks?
I really liked that there was new Darkwing Duck recording.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was... The funny thing is that we're both recording on two separate cameras, and the Jim Cummings recording starts, and we both went...
That's not from the show.
Because it was new.
It was cool.
Which was very fun and very exciting.
We should get him on Geeks Corner. He's amazing.
Easy. Let's just call him up right now.
Mr. Cummings, you can say...
We would like to speak to all of you.
Yeah.
Yes. It will be confusing, but we can do it, because we're always confused.
Besides that, I really loved seeing Goofy and Max.
I feel like that was probably a highlight for a lot of people.
I definitely agree. I just think it was interesting to see Max in the Powerline costume, because I liked,
and I'm sure Cameron would like this too, Indiana Jones.
Oh,
yes,
that was one of the coolest things ever.
I'm going to get the video I took, I'm going to put that separately up, probably on Thursday. And it was really cool because he had, he was exploring the front queue area, like down
where
below
the
there.
is,
and they had it all blocked off, so he could literally be going on his adventure. And
the funniest thing was at one point we actually walked through the queue and saw him from above, and you just see people were exiting and they just stopped, because obviously. And so they're just probably...
Ours was a happy mistake. 3 or 4
people deep of just lines, and it's going through the whole exit of people just staring at him. And he's like, what? You find artifacts? And I was like, this is so Indiana Jones.
You want to buy some artifacts?
Yes.
He also said he liked my hat. Remember that?
He did. He said multiple times he liked your hat. He was making sure that he knew that you knew that he liked your hat.
I wasn't totally worried, but that was probably one of my favorite parts.
Andy likes your hat.
Yeah, it's always a good thing.
But that was really cool.
Bailey says, 100% wished I was there at 90s Night. I guess we are adding Jim Cummings to the guests we want list. Absolutely.
Yes.
And hopefully he comes someday. So
agreed.
Let's invite him.
Let's do it. Somebody get his Twitter.
Find him on Twitter right now and invite him from Geeks Corner. Tell him to turn to thegeekscorner.com and watch this episode for a very special invitation.
Also tell him to get dangerous.
We'll even feed you pie, Mr. Cummings.
It's true!
We had excellent pie tonight.
You can pick the flavor.
Courtesy of our producer and one of our co-hosts.
And if I can add one extra guarantee.
Please do.
While you are welcome to do any of the voices you like, we have a standing policy to not ask voice actors to do voices. So
that is also true.
It's true.
We will ask you about whatever you'd like to talk about. It'll be fun.
We'll talk to you about pizza.
Other thing that's coming out of the 90s is Captain Marvel, which came into theaters this week and had a very good weekend. In fact, second best opening for a Marvel film after Avengers Infinity War. And it just crossed the 500 million worldwide today, I believe.
Nuts.
Ridiculously fast, just like how she flies. And first thoughts go to Katie. What did you think of Captain Marvel, Miss... I don't know what to call you.
As a resident identifying female, you do have rights to this.
Well, no, I was just thinking like 10 minutes into the movie, she was already crying. So,
okay, thanks for calling me
I didn't get
That's
past the title card,
nice.
so
I did,
well,
because
actually,
that was spoiled for me.
Title cards hit me more than a lot of the movies.
so
I agree with you. Anyway, Katie, share what you thought about them.
So I thought that it was super awesome to have representation, but I didn't necessarily think that I was in the camp of needing a female superhero. Not that I didn't think it was the coolest thing in the entire world. I was just like, I see myself in Bruce Banner. I see myself in many heroes that we already have. I have never related to a character more than I have related to Carol Danvers. And that is why I cried the entire film. And seeing
And Cameron was relating to Goose, right?
Obviously.
Okay, keep going, Katie. Sorry.
Usually.
So no, I related to the blue dude that was on the team that had the big beard. Like, you never actually see him fighting other than to throw one really heavy thing. I was just like, that's my guy.
Yeah.
You know
right there.
You know what's funny is I saw that guy in the beard. I was like, Cameron.
I could do that. I immediately thought, I hope he has a more prominent role because I can cosplay him.
Oh,
You should
totally
still just
I
paint
mean,
yourself
if we
blue.
want to do that team, you could do the one with the hair that goes
Oh,
floop.
yeah. Absolutely. Yeah,
say
she goes floop. And she
Okay.
has
Okay,
face
cool.
makeup.
The sniper. I think she's a sniper. I think that
Yes,
was her role.
yes.
All right, continue on about the movie.
But seeing the struggles that Carol Danvers has and seeing, like, it was just there. It's very easy to draw parallels into, I think it's not just me, but I feel like I could draw parallels very easily. And a lot of the trials were because she's a woman. And I relate very heavily to that. And so I cried literally the entire movie. Anytime anything happened, I was crying. And that was really embarrassing.
That beat the old guy that was snoring behind you.
Yeah.
The movie hadn't even started yet, and he was out.
Gone.
Well, it was,
funny.
there was,
And it wasn't like the quiet, like.
I think that they took a trip so that they could all see it together. I think that there was like,
He was old.
yeah, but
All right, Cameron, what do you think about the
he's
movie?
asleep.
So two separate thoughts for this. The first one, I don't know if this is an unpopular. Also, take it with a grain of salt because I'm commenting on something that is a feminist topic, and I'm highly unqualified for it.
And we will admit we're not trying to do any spoilers.
Yes.
Just
No
for those of you that
spoilers.
I forgot to say that earlier.
Yes. Captain Marvel, better film than Wonder Woman. Defining moment of empowerment, better Wonder Woman than Captain Marvel, in my opinion.
Okay.
And I think we're okay with Wonder Woman spoilers. The No Man's Land moment, I think, is better than the mirrored defining moment from Captain Marvel as a single moment. Overall, I think the Captain Marvel film is a better, more fully realized encapsulation of a good, strong female empowerment film.
I actually agree. I don't know about
I'm turning to
haven't-
her. I'm
I
asking
haven't
your opinion.
seen-
I don't remember the moment you're specifically talking about, but I do remember being impressed by a couple of moments in the film, so I'm going to give that to you in agreement.
I will say that whenever I think about that specific scene in Captain Marvel, I have cried every single time in the last 2 days.
It's good.
since
Let's
we've
see
seen
what
it.
happens tonight.
Now, so second part. That was the first part. Second part. I think the best example of an empowerment moment in Captain Marvel, without giving any no spoilers, comes at the end when they don't highlight it, and it's between her and the Jude Law's character. It involves use of powers.
Yeah, that was great.
That was, in my mind, the best moment
Amazing.
of the film.
That was so good.
Completely
So
agree.
good.
That-
so good.
Yeah.
Best moment in the film? No, not best moment in the film.
That's my best
Without
moment.
doing a spoiler, the best moment in the film took place in a staircase with Phil Coulson. Easily,
Of course that was
easily
yours.
the best moment.
I mean,
Which, by the way, that didn't read Uncanny Valley to me too terribly much.
actually-
I thought that read very well.
I was going to bring that up.
Yeah.
Is both Coulson and Fury.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they did a very good job of de-aging them.
that was one of the first things we said after the movie.
Yeah. There was one moment where I will say I had that eyebrow go up on Coulson.
Yeah.
Where I was like, not perfect. But overall, I will give them
They
an
did a
A
great
on,
job.
on
Yeah.
Yeah,
that.
it was really good.
And you think about especially how much of the movie Fury is in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was zero cringeworthy moments as far as I could tell from that aspect. And
Well, I think it's because most of what they did, and there were a couple of things they did CG, but most of it was practical effect.
Yeah, I agree.
And so practical, for now, still beats CG as far as being able to manipulate things.
But the other part of this that I notice sometimes when they do this is they can make the person look as young as you want. Apparently, I'm boring. And
I didn't work at 3 a.m. It's fine.
okay,
You did? Cool.
me
That's what
either.
your excuse.
But how they move.
Oh yeah.
Like, there's been movies where they've done the de-aging process, and you're like, oh, they're kind of stiff moving.
They're floating. The problem when they normally do the CG is there's an element of lack of weight to them, and I think that's what it happened in the Star Wars Rogue
also,
One.
like
There's just
when
a
they
lack
walk, sometimes you can tell. Like, older people walk a little bit more carefully than a young person who kind of just is.
Yeah.
And he had a younger walk than, and I thought it was a less quote-unquote commanding walk than you see as Director Fury.
Which was a good choice, yeah.
And before, I'm assuming you saw the same trailer setup as we did, but they had the Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And spoiler alert, he is in that trailer, and you could see a different presence in the way he held himself. And I thought that was really impressive to see him here, and then 10 minutes later you see 20
Samuel
years
Jackson's
younger,
just a good actor.
30 years younger almost, version of him, and it was just like...
Somebody did a comparison shot online, or a comparison, like, screen cap, of him sitting in a car with Coulson and his character from Pulp Fiction, and it was it was perfect.
Yeah. That's awesome. Where would you rate this movie compared to other ones in the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
This is I don't want to say it's my number one, but this is easily my top 3. Like, give me a few months where the dust has settled.
That's always the hard part. Yeah. It's hard to decide, Dave.
But it's in my top 3, absolutely.
Cameron?
It's in my top 3. I would place it, if I was tentatively guessing, at 2.
After...
See, I think my number 1 is still the first Captain America.
I agree with you. I actually walked out of it feeling like they nailed what made the original Captain America and Iron Man special with this one as well. And I feel like they haven't really hit that sweet spot in a long time, because they've either gone too comedic, or they've gone too thriller, or they've gone too sci-fi. And this one hit that sweet spot of superhero, fun movie, a little bit of comedy thrown in, but not to the point where it's a full-on comedy. And it was a really well-balanced connecting with people film. Like, people are all going to enjoy it, I think.
And that to be able to walk that thin line very, very much comes down to whatever lead actor or actress you have. And credit to Manchego Larson, she handled that extremely well.
Yeah.
And that's not something that every actor... I think even you look at other actors in the MCU, Pratt leans funny. Tony Stark leans sardonic. Like, they can play against, certainly for a very dramatic effect, but very few can do the middle line, little bit of everything. I think Steve Rogers we have right now can do that, and I think Brie Larson can do that. Yep. I think that's about it.
What would you put as your third movie after she says this?
Again, no spoilers. I do think it'll be very interesting to see her presence in Endgame. Because Carol Danvers has had 30 years to harness her powers. It'll be incredibly interesting to see how it's played, how her presence is in the film, how she interacts with other people in the MCU. I'm very interested to see it.
Hope she shows up.
My third would probably be the first Thor. A lot of that has to do with...
My brother really likes that
I'm
one,
obsessed with the lore of the Norse people, so to see a lot of that fleshed out, and for them to just have as much fun as they did with it, special for me.
And you said top 3, what would you put?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't have answers.
I just realized, since I asked Cameron his top 3, he's like, oh, what would you add in also? Bailey says, let me reread this to make sure I'm not... I'm going to be as vague as possible. My favorite small thing was how the internet said jokingly that something would be the cause of something else the one time the internet was right. You're going to have to message me to say specifically which one that was, because I feel like it could have been a couple.
Speaking of causation, and again, this is not a spoiler.
Sure.
I greatly, as the resident, I would say, comic book expert of the three of us.
Yes.
That's not an overstep.
Nope, that's
They
fair.
made some choices in this that go contrary to the comic book choices, like in a major way. Sometimes in how they gendered characters that came before, sometimes in the goodness or badness of characters, which I could see comic book fans on a very surface level, which is to say reactionary and not wise level, reacting negatively to this, just because they did diverge so much from the source material. But at the same time, I was thoroughly surprised by some of those choices, which is something I want from a film. And so I was very happy that they did some of those things. That's all.
That's great. The other thing that, how would you rate this? 2 thumbs up, everybody?
2 thumbs up.
I mean, I almost didn't ask, but I feel like we always do, so we should. Other cool thing that came along with Captain Marvel, beyond a really great opening weekend, is a really great meet and greet that was unveiled yesterday. They've got her jet. They've got some really cool Easter eggs. Caitlin went into the park yesterday and got some pictures, and I will just say, look at some of the boxes and what's on some of the boxes. And if you have time, probably even better if she's not out there, take a look at some of the things on on the set, and there's some really cool little details that are thrown in that you may or may not catch immediately. But so all that to say, I love the new meet and greet. I think it's actually one of the best, if not the best, meet and greet in the resort right now. What do you guys think of this new?
I just like that there's 90s grunge playing from the obviously from the film.
Yeah, the soundtrack to the film was amazing.
It really was good.
Not only is the score amazing, but the fact that of the 90s music that they did bring in, and the fact that all of that is at the meet and greet, the fact that Just a Girl is there.
Yeah,
the fact,
so it's no doubt so mad.
It's so good. The fact
so
that there's
good.
Nirvana, there's Hole, there's...
She was wearing a Nine Inch Nails shirt.
It was...
Oh.
It's so good.
So
like,
good.
that is... It's probably... Like, obviously, the meet and greet's amazing. It looks fantastic. But that is one of my favorite details, and it just gets you so excited. Yeah.
Cool. Cameron, did you like the...
I like the imposing nature of it with the jet. Like, it's just... It's... There's no mistaking what that's for when you walk up. So I enjoy that.
I would say if I were to have any criticism, and this is a minor one, it's the fact that that whole area does not make sense anymore.
Yeah.
It's because you have this awesome plane, and it's like, oh, here's Monsters Inc. And
also Black Panther's over there.
And Black Panther.
And also, you can go meet Spider-Man.
Well, the Spider-Man and Captain America and Captain Marvel thing
those all
kind
make
of
sense.
makes sense to me.
But you have to pass
if you
monsters.
Go any further.
You have to pass monsters to get to the Dora Milaje. And also, there's still kind of the Hollywood backlot thing, because there's the facade.
Do you suppose this is mini superhero campus?
Yes.
Like mini superhero campus?
Also what I thought he said. Now I'm imagining Minnie at Nick Fury's desk.
Well, that
See, I went Minnie's Moonlight Madness, but all superheroes.
She's wearing an eye patch.
Cool. But do you suppose this really is a glimpse into what we're going to see when the superhero campus opens up? I'm excited for it, and I think it's just the best thing I can say about this photo location is go look around. There's some fun stuff. Also, today, a new poster and trailer was released for Aladdin. You guys watch it?
Yes.
I watched about half of it.
I watched the whole thing.
Did you stop because of spoilers, or?
No. I stopped because I was not able to focus on it enough, and it looked good.
Okay, that's fine. So what did you guys think of the trailer?
I think it calmed a lot of fears.
Yeah, I think that's a very good way. But I'm from what I've seen, I'm more happy with specifically Genie so far. Mm-hmm. We have to give Will Smith room to do Will Smith's Genie.
Yeah.
Because I think too many people still have, with good reason, Robin Williams' Genie in their head. And he's not going to do Robin Williams' Genie, nor should he try.
That'd be terrible.
Yeah, it would be awful. Yeah. And he's not going to.
I do have a theory about Genie. Because in the Friend Like Me scene and in the bottle reveal, or the lamp reveal, not bottle. Whoops. I was thinking Christina Aguilera. Whoops.
Anyway, keep moving on.
He comes out and he's blue, and he does the whole blue genie thing. But once they leave the cave, he's not blue anymore. And so my thing is, I'm thinking that he needs to blend in, and
he
needs
for sure not blue, because I was watching the trailer and I only watched it once. But
he's
it looked
not
like,
blue.
Okay, checked, because it looked like when they were standing up on a sand dune in front of the cave, he was still blue. No. Okay. Let us know.
Maybe he put on sunscreen.
And he enters in the palace. Like, I think because he enters in the palace and he has to be there, that they can't just be like, oh, who's this blue dude? Like, he has to blend
Manhattan.
So,
no.
Yes, I think that I do. I think that was a big question that was coming up. So that's my conspiracy theory. I don't know if
he's blending in. Is that basically what you're? Okay.
Yeah, he has to act natural.
He's spying on them.
Naturally.
No, he's not a spy.
Well, maybe that's what the sequel.
He's not wearing sunglasses.
00 Genie.
Yeah, I kind of like this theory. It'd be kind of fun.
Well, you remember the last time they tried to make a sequel into an international spy thing, and that was Cars 2, I believe. That didn't work so well.
But see, he wasn't.
He likes that one.
He wasn't doubling up with Merlin.
You think Genie's going to team up with Merlin
for the international spy thing?
Yeah.
So is this?
And they're going to go to Bermuda.
Is this Men in Black, the remake that's happening?
No, because there's no aliens.
Are you sure?
Yeah, this is.
They're genies.
Does he get to, in both of them, say the difference between you and me is I make this look good? Because that'd be great.
That would be
really good.
I would be okay with that. Yeah. That would be very cool. I was actually really excited about the music.
Oh yeah, sounds
I
really
thought
good.
they did a really nice job with the music for this, and I think that's going to be a hit. And I think it's becoming more and more clear that the reason they're doing these over and over again is to introduce these stories to a whole new generation of kids that are used to a newer style of animation that's Pixar and DreamWorks and all these other companies that Disney even that are much more three-dimensional.
Yes.
And I think there might be a 2D disconnect of, that's old. And it's kind of like, I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, if the show was black and white, I had zero interest in watching it. And I do think...
Until you became Andy Griffith.
Something like that, yeah. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. But I do have to wonder if that's... It seems like that's really what's happening.
Mm-hmm. And you bring up a very good point, though, because we have to remember the generational gap. Not only will they be disconnected because of watching this old media in that fashion, they also just don't know the stories.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a little bit of cultural zeitgeist around things like Lion King, but honestly, they couldn't tell you the beat by beat of Lion King the same way we could. Right. But after watching the new one, they're going to be able to embrace and love that story in the same way.
Exactly. Yeah, he is blue outside. But he might be changing color right there. I don't know. I just thought I saw something, so I was checking. All in the interest of being
pressing.
So pressing.
It was bothering me because I was like, did I not see it or did I see it? So I thought I would be accurate and do my research. The other thing that came out today that we don't have coverage, but it's out, is Alan Tudyk is going to be voicing Iago.
Perfect choice.
I think it's brilliant.
Perfect choice.
Like, I am so excited.
Honestly, Alan Tudyk is the voice guy. Like, really...
He should be here, too.
King Candy, K2SO...
That would
Hey is the correct choice.
That's my favorite, is because he voiced that and then I went to Juilliard.
So ashamed.
Yes, but Alan Tudyk is a very
thank you for that.
talented voice actor, and I think that he's 100% the right choice for Iago.
Yeah.
And I also think that, oh my gosh, why did his name suddenly escape me?
Will Smith.
No, Iago.
Oh.
Gilbert Gottfried.
Yes.
He's not going to try to be that.
No. He's not to mention, Gilbert Gottfried is the only human on Earth that can do Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah. I was going to say, that's also, he didn't do a voice. He just talked.
He just talked. He did his thing.
Yeah, you're right.
So I think it'll be very interesting to see Alan Tudyk's take on Iago.
I completely agree. Also, we've got the Chalk Walk 2019 coming this August is 11th. I didn't look at my notes. It's on a Sunday. Whoever can get me that, Nate. Anyway, we have opened up registration for our team. We want this team to be bigger, better, more successful than ever before. So take a moment to join it at chalkwalk.org/dapsmagic, or just go to Daps Magic and follow the link. We've got all that stuff there.
Indeed.
And August 11th, 2019. It'll be
at the same time.
Bright and early. Sweet.
Super early.
But it's always worth it. And,
it is. It's always very fun.
Mm-hmm. And you can always mobile order Starbucks on the way in. It's great.
No, you can't.
You're
not going to be awake enough to do that.
They didn't have it open in time last year.
Oh.
They opened it at 5 and gates opened at 4.
Oh, yeah, because we get there before the mobile order. You're right. Never mind.
Because we are there.
We go horde.
We go the second gates open to Disneyland. So we're at the front of Main Street by the time that Starbucks is open.
That is true. So get Starbucks on your way in or make it at home.
As I say, get Starbucks, get a cold drink the night before with no ice. Add some ice in the morning. That's my fun chalk walk tip, because that is what I do.
And then in the morning, that scene in Return of the Kings where they go to the gates of Mordor to distract from Frodo and Sam, who are attempting to traverse Mordor.
Very that.
And then Aragorn, now king, turns back and says, "For Frodo," and then charges the gates. Is what we do. It's just that with trilbies.
Very that.
And the best part is we get video of this too, because usually me and one of our photographers, often Megan, are at the other end of the street waiting for the team to come down. So you just see them coming down the street, and it's really fun. It's actually a little bit terrifying because there's 14,000 people surging down Main Street, and
being in the middle of that is terrifying.
And all doing that chant from Dark Knight Rises.
Yes,
it's very intense.
And there's just the rope between you and them, and you really don't know what's going to happen.
That's true.
But no, it's one of the most fun things we do, and it makes a huge difference every year. We're trying to pass last year. I think we made 4,000 something last year. Do you remember, Cameron?
We were just about 5,000, I thought.
Yes.
Oh, we were just about 5,000? Yeah. Anyway, we want to beat last year, so we'd love to clear 5,000 easily, be closer to 6,000, or 10. That'd be great, too.
10 would be great.
So if you'd like to donate $10,000, go to chalkwalk.org/dapsmagic.
Donate it to me.
And donate it to the team, and we'll disperse it evenly.
We get prizes.
That is true also. If you want to give Katie a prize. Donate it to her.
Because she needs the validation.
I do.
Finally, this last week, it was announced that Star Wars Galaxy's Edge will be opening at Disneyland on May 31st and August 29th for Walt Disney World.
I couldn't think of the word May.
It was as though a million voices cried out at once and was suddenly silenced.
When they realized Rise of the Resistance wouldn't be opening on the same day. So we know that at Disneyland, the first about month, you're going to need a reservation to get in or stay at a hotel. You're going to not be able to go on Rise of the Resistance because it's opening later in the year, which I think is brilliant. We'll talk about that in a second. And you will be able to go on the Millennium Falcon. You'll be able to walk around. You'll be able to get your droids. You'll be able to get your lightsaber. Luke is smiling really big back there at the producer's table. And it's going to be ridiculously amazing. What are, out of the information that came out in the last week since we talked about this, what are you most excited about? What are you most concerned about? Or like, what do you think?
I'm most concerned for the cast members because no matter how well they disperse the information that you need reservations to get into the park for the first month,
it's going to be brutal.
There's still going to be...
I would not want to be at the gate.
No, there's still going to be people that are confused, and there's even on the frequently asked questions page, there's still, oh, well then can I do standby wait and wait for entrance? And that's a no, but I think people are still going to try and do it anyway.
So we're going to say this over and over and over again, and
you
we'll
need
post
reservations.
Get a reservation, get a hotel room, only through June 23rd, and I think that's probably because of blockout dates hitting at that point.
And it has to be a Disney property hotel.
Get a ticket so that you can go into the park on the day of said reservation.
Yes.
And remember that if you don't have all three of those things, or two of the three, because reservation and ticket are the two important things.
Yes.
You will not be going into Galaxy's Edge. How do you feel about that, Cameron?
Also on to piggyback on that. Just because you have a ticket and you have entrance to Galaxy's Edge either by making a reservation or buying a hotel,
park early enough.
You have to get in the park early enough so it doesn't reach capacities.
Yep.
True.
Otherwise, you will not be allowed in the park as per the fire marshal, and there's nothing they can do about it.
Yeah, you will not be able to be let into the gates of Disneyland.
So plan and bring patience and
Absolutely.
grace also, because remember, if a cast member says no, it's because they have to.
Yes.
And they didn't decide that.
As I say,
that's very important. They did not make that decision.
Everyone's very excited. The cast member does not want to destroy your Star Wars dreams.
So, before we run out of time, how do we feel about only one of the two attractions being available opening day?
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, they're going to be able to disperse the moments for this a little bit and try not. It won't hit all at once.
I think that's the huge benefit of this is you're not going to have people that, well, it's going to create an entire group of people that want to wait till both attractions are open, and I feel like it will balance out that opening day a little bit.
Well, I think instead of the family from Wyoming or Kansas or wherever, instead of them going, oh my gosh, we have to move our trip to the Galaxy's Edge opening day, they can just go, oh, okay, we can just keep our trip whenever we would normally go in the year, because that way we can get both rides.
Yep, I think it's a brilliant way to do it, and I know it's gonna cause consternation with some people, but I really do think it's a good way to not overdo the park and not kill off cast members.
Yeah,
too.
Definitely.
What are you most excited about a week later with Galaxy's Edge, now that we have an official opening date? Because it just got that much more real in my world.
I am very excited that it's earlier than we thought.
Mm-hmm.
Which
a little touting my own whatever is, did anybody see Bailey's tweet this week?
That you won.
Yes.
Yeah.
The really funny thing, though, is because that's what he said on the air probably a year and a half ago. But then in the last 6 months, he had picked an entirely different day. He had been touting this whole weekend. He's like, I'm going to be right. I know it. And then when I saw it, I was like...
Mm-hmm.
You were right from the before times.
Yeah, so you were right before... The ignorance was correct. Before you started doing research and all
The
that
ignorance
stuff.
was correct would be the best ska punk album title ever.
Yep.
But
so, what are you most looking forward to?
The Millennium Falcon.
Millennium Falcon.
Dude, I want to build my own lightsaber so bad.
So bad.
So bad. I want to hold rock high bar, shove it in, and make it.
And DJ Rex.
DJ Rex will be fun. I'm looking forward to taking pictures of the area. That's no surprise. We will have videos up of the area as soon as we possibly can, and we are making plans and contingency plans to get you the best coverage of the opening of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge.
We do.
And we haven't talked about Florida yet, but you never know. Like, who knows? We're crazy.
We might try.
We might not.
Florida.
I don't know.
I might.
It's a little bit frightening, but
Thunderbolts and lightning.
we are running out of time for this week's show, aren't we?
Should go to thegeekscorner.com if you're not already there watching it right now. Thegeekscorner.com. That's the place where we have all these videos where we talk about stuff and things.
Should at dapsmagic.com. Check out all the Disney and geek news as it happens. Subscribe to our mailing list and find our Patreon.
And while you're subscribing to things, make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel so you don't miss any of our videos, including the upcoming Indiana Jones video. We'll also have a Clopan video going up, I think, tonight at midnight. Maybe it's tomorrow night at midnight. I don't remember. But that's all the time we have for you this week, so we will see you around the corner.
Bye!